Alright, let me check in with you for a quick second. How'd you do on that test? Alright, some of you are saying thumbs up and some of you thumbs down. It's all bad. Okay, it's not all bad. Alright, many of us have a lot of things on that list. Matter of fact, I can say I'm responsible for a couple of things on that list that I'm going to work on immediately. But let's talk about how to reverse them. Alright, so solution number one, reversing the four horsemen. And let's review from before. The four horsemen are criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling. And we're going to talk about how to get rid of all four. First of all, let me show you a diagram very quickly so you can write those down. Criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling. Now the reason that they are called the four horsemen is because they have been shown to lead to divorce close to 80-85% of the time over the next 15 years, because what research shows is not about how well we get along when we're doing fine. Now you still have to have the 5-to-1 ratio, of positives and negatives in your relationship for it to feel good. But what really makes people relationship masters is staying out of those valleys. Alright, it's how well you get along when there is conflict, how quickly you get out of conflict. Does that make sense? And so if you have these four horsemen in your relationship, you can see how it can kill it. Matter of fact, if you add in a failed repair attempt with the four horsemen, your relationship is headed towards disaster, according to John Gottman, with almost 90-95% accuracy. Isn't that scary? Alright, and that's why we're here. That's why we're here, to correct those things. So let's talk about how to get rid of the four horsemen. Alright, so number one, criticism. Avoid starting in on your partner and just lighting into them because you're unhappy. Don't begin a discussion like, baby, you make me, you get on my nerves, you make me sick, or you're always interrupting me, or you're so unromantic, or you're so boring, used to be fun, now you're boring. That's not the way you bring up your needs. You can see how your partner doesn't receive that. You won't receive that. You see why they get defensive. Instead, what you want to do is do something called a soft startup. How you start is how you'll finish. So if you start soft, you'll end soft. If you start harsh, you're going to end in a knockdown drag out. It's going to make you feel worse than you did before you even brought your issues up, and I want you to avoid that. So start soft. And also what I want you to do is do 5-to-1. Five appreciations before you bring up your criticism. Remember, we need that 5-to-1 ratio to be able to receive it. And that's why your boss calls you in and tells you the 5 things you do well before they tell you the 1 or 2 things that you absolutely suck at, so you don't quit. Okay? So for example, instead of saying, you always interrupting me, here's what I do. I'd say, babe, I really appreciate the fact that you have a home-cooked meal and everything's fresh, nothing's out the can, and when I get home from work, I appreciate that. Oh my goodness, it was great. Number 2, I really appreciate the fact that you spend time with my mom planning family events. Family's big to me, and the fact that you kind of gone into that culture with us and make sure that we get together, that's not really my thing. I love it, but I'm not a planner. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate the fact that you spend so much time with our kids and reading to them and anticipating their needs. You're such a fantastic mother. Thank you for being there for me and being there for the kids. Number 4, I really appreciate the fact that you stay so fit and fine and stay time in the gym with all your responsibilities and stay sexy. I appreciate that, and I really appreciate the fact that you let me watch Monday Night Football when I get home from work on Mondays. Thank you. You know how important that is to me. Thank you for just going and doing other things on your own. Thank you. I appreciate it. If you could just work on not interrupting when we talk, that would be great. I don't know why I get so mad. I can work on being, less long-winded, but if you could just not interrupt me and let me finish, that would be great, and I want to listen to what you have to say and not interrupt you. See how much different that sounds? Implement those things so you can get rid of criticism. Alright, number 2, defensiveness. Alright, now we become defensive because our partners sometimes are critical, or sometimes we're just sensitive. Let's just be honest about it. What you have to do, if you want to make the relationship work, is take responsibility in 3 ways. Alright, number 1, take responsibility for what you do wrong. If you forgot to take the dishes out of the dishwasher, say, I forgot to take them out. Don't blast them and say, well, you forgot to do this. And then number 2, you want to take responsibility for the health of the relationship. Just because your man or your woman or your partner is not feeling the relationship right now and not acting the way they should, that doesn't mean that you have to go down with them. Go and show them pictures of when you got along, when you were on vacation, or when you got married, or when you were having a good time, to kind of revive those positive memories in the relationship and avoid that negative sentiment override we talked about earlier that makes the relationship seem more negative than what it really is in reality. And then number 3, Take responsibility for your own happiness. Listen, your partner is not responsible for 100% of your happiness. You need to have hobbies. You need to have friends outside, of the marriage, to where you can go and have fun, so that when you all are arguing, the whole house doesn't come down. You're able to separate, do your thing, she's able to do her thing, and you're able to come back and you're better because of it. Alright, and then number 3, contempt. Contempt is probably the most deadly of the 4 horsemen, because it talks about judgment and hatred. I hate you, I can't stand you, or what kind of man would do this, or what kind of woman would do that. What you want to do instead is build a culture of appreciation and fondness. Remember when you first started dating, you used to be on the phone, and you used to say, I really admire the fact that you don't back down and that you have your own mind. I admire the fact that you're always, in the gym and working out. I admire the fact that, you're always thinking of me and that you're accommodating. You used to say those things. You used to verbalize those things, especially us, men. You used to verbalize those things. Say those things so that we can create a culture of softness in the house that doesn't allow contempt to even, exist. But when it comes, have a mindset of your wife being your little girl, or your husband being your little boy. You wouldn't show contempt towards them while expressing your needs. You would say it in a soft way, so do that in your household. And then number 4, stonewalling. And stonewalling is where you build up a stone wall between your partner and your emotions, the kind of where you have the remote and whatever they say, you don't look at it, you don't respond, you're just kind of in numb zone. Don't do that. What you should do instead is make sure that you stay calm, soothe yourself by asking your wife or your husband to kind of rub your back when you start to get upset, to calm you down. It works, trust me, we'll talk about it a little bit later, to calm you down so that you don't get flooded. And here's what else you can do. When you're arguing and in conflict, you don't have to talk. A lot of men don't want to talk. A lot of women don't want to talk when they're mad. That's not true. A lot of them want to talk more. I'm just playing. Well, I'm actually being serious. Most men don't want to talk. Here's what you do. Light a unity candle that shows, hey, I'm still with you. We don't have to talk. I know we just got finished arguing, but here, you know what? Here's a unity candle that shows that we're still together. Also, you can fix your partner's favorite drink and put it in the refrigerator that shows I'm still here with you. Those are suggestions I got from, Dr. Gottman and Dr. Patricia Love. Also, what you can do is just do activities together that don't involve talking. Exercising, going to the movies. You don't have to talk in the movies. Watching a movie at home where you're just sitting right next to each other, and snuggling, but you don't have to talk, because we need things to bring us together and connect. Alright, so I hope that helps you to get rid of the 4 horsemen. Alright, take care, and we'll proceed to solution number 2.